Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Brackman, and first I would like to wish you all a happy St. Patrick's Day. But today I'm going to make a quick recording and we're going to review 3.03 and 3.04. Staying safe is kind of our theme here. So we're going to go over things of how to avoid risky behaviors and then what we need to do to keep our body, mind, and everything, our health safe. So what are some risky behaviors and how do they affect our body? Obviously, we have drugs and alcohol and smoking, and there's several other risky behaviors. I just want to touch on a couple of them, but these can damage our body in really bad ways. They're going to make our body very unhealthy. They're going to put toxins into our body. So these are definitely things we want to avoid. Not only are they physically going to harm us, but they can emotionally and psychologically cause very bad behaviors and risky behaviors as well. So just avoiding them altogether is absolutely the best solution. And besides avoiding harmful drugs and tobacco and alcohol, like we just started, part of staying healthy is regular exercise. And so the question to you is, are you making exercise part of your daily routine? Are you getting out? Are you active? Getting your body loose and fueling it in a good way. Physical activity can vary in many different ways. I love to work out, and many people always tell me, "Oh, I find it so boring." And I ask, like, "What do you do?" And they may tell me, "Well, running or lifting weights." There are tons of ways to be physically active. So you just need to try things that you yourself love. Something I love may not be something you love. So just trying to find activities that suits you, your personality, your body's needs, and makes you happy. I have a really good friend that she loves yoga. Yoga is not for me. I don't like it. I find it very challenging. It hurts my body sometimes because I don't think I do it right. So it's not for me. She loves it though. That's where she gets her workouts in. So it's just finding the right activity that works for you. So exercising, along with that, we need to have healthy eating habits, okay? And so what does that mean, okay? Are you taking steps to eat right? Not only that, are you taking steps to get the proper health care? So are you going on regular checkups? Are you going to see a dentist? Are you seeing a specialized physician if you need it? So diet and exercise are important, but that needs to be followed up with maintaining our doctor's visits as well. You should be seeing a doctor once a year. Absolutely minimal. Checkup, you can get a physical. You should be going to the dentist every 6 months. Specialized physicians are different. Usually, if you have a reason to see them, then you would need to go there. However, it's not a necessity to see a specialized physician yearly. So, how do you choose a physician? How do you know who is right for you? Um, First off, you're going to want to look at the physician's specialty. What are you needing to go to the doctor for? And that will kind of help you narrow down what type of physician you need to see. Where is their office located? Is it convenient for you? If you have to drive 2 hours to go see a doctor, that's probably not the best doctor for you. If there's one 10 minutes down the street. Um, which hospital is the doctor associated with? Am I comfortable with these hospitals? Because if you do need to be hospitalized, you want to make sure that this doctor goes to that hospital and that you like the care that is given at that hospital. So researching that. Maybe the doctor's hours, the physician's hours, what fees come with visiting that doctor. If he's not under your plan for health insurance, he may or she may cost a lot more than another doctor. And what is the physician's philosophy for practicing medicine? Do you agree with that philosophy? Do you back him up? Do you support him or her? So looking into all these is a very good thing before you go and see a doctor or physician. So these are some specialized either physicians or terms used by physicians. So we have an internist, and that is a specialist who is specializes in internal medicine. Okay, prognosis is a professional's prediction of the probability or the probable course and outcome of your disease. Okay, so the prognosis is what they're diagnosing you with. And their outcome of that disease. Maybe the length of time. If you have a cancer patient, their prognosis maybe to live, something like that. Cardiologist is a heart specialist. Inpatient, this is one that is admitted to the hospital or clinic for treatment or testing that requires at least one overnight stay. Okay, then you'd be considered an inpatient. Diagnosis, the identification of the medical condition or disease. So that's the diagnosis, and then the prognosis would be the prediction of or the outcome of the disease, the length or the outcome. Oh, sorry, went backwards. Paramedic, person trained to give advanced emergency medical treatment or assistant medical professionals. So you see them in ambulances, or they may respond to 911 calls. That's usually where we see paramedics. Outpatient is a patient in a hospital or a clinic whose treatment does not require an overnight stay. So, for example, if you get your tonsils out, that's usually not an overnight stay anymore. So they'll go in, they'll do the surgery, and then you're an outpatient. You'll leave shortly after. And dermatologist, that's a skin specialist. So those are just some fun terms. Here are some questions that may or may not be on the 3.03 quiz. Alcoholics Anonymous is a support group for families of the people with substance abuse or addiction. This is a tricky one. This is actually false. Alcoholics Anonymous is actually for the alcoholic themselves, not for their family. Children and teenagers should be active for how long every day? This is C, 60 minutes, trying to get that hour in. I think that's about 4% of your day, if my memory serves me correctly. It's a short amount of time, so try to get in that hour if you can. Smoking cigarettes can cause lung cancer and heart disease. That's absolutely true. Cigarettes are terrible for you. Not only for the person smoking themselves, but secondhand smoke, somebody else breathing that smoke. It's just as bad, if not worse. John has been diagnosed with arrhythmia, a heart condition. He should make an appointment with, and we went over that just a few minutes ago, and that would be the cardiologist. I'm going to move right along to 3.04. This is about protecting your health and well-being so you can prevent harm and injury. And we're going to talk about this in several different areas and places. One, what is defensive driving? You need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, especially if you're the one behind the wheel. Not only are you responsible for yourself, but everyone in your car. And if you're driving recklessly and you get in a car accident and injure somebody else, you're now responsible for that person. So what they mean by defensive driving is that you're 100% on task of driving. You're so focused on driving, and you're not being distracted by stereos or cell phones or passenger conversation, children's scenery outside, etc. That's sometimes easier said than done, but it will help to keep you safe. It means that not only do you watch your own behavior, but you're also watching the behavior of other car drivers. So if somebody's like swerving in front of you, a defensive driver is going to back off and get away from that person because you don't want to be close to somebody that could wreck. And a defensive driver is watching the traffic flow in front of them by several hundred yards. So you're not just looking at the car in front of you, you're looking a couple cars in front of you, okay? And you want to make sure that you're watching the people to the left, to the right of you as well. You're always being cautious of what's around you. So a little bit about work safety. Which is the safer picture? We have construction workers over on the left, and then we have, and this is way back in the day, probably in the 1920s or 30s, construction workers on the right. But if you notice on the right, they're taking a break thousands and thousands of feet above the ground, and they're eating lunch, and they have no protection whatsoever. They could easily fall off. You know, and we have people on the left, they have bright gear so people can see them. They have eye protection, hand protection. They have long pants and boots on. They have a helmet on, so they are a lot safer. And then here you look at, this is a little bit of a different work scenario, but obviously A is a lot safer. The food is organized, it's clean, it's being prepped. She has gloves on, she has a hat covering her hair. And if you look at the right, there are dirty dishes everywhere. There's trash on the ground. Nothing looks clean. It's not sanitary. You could easily slip and fall if you're walking back there. I wouldn't say your food's going to come out in the best condition either. I definitely wouldn't want to eat from that restaurant. So being safe at work, you know, having protective gear on, especially if you work in a place that's dangerous. Washing your hands, you know, before you return to work or after you go to the restroom. Making sure your work environment is clean. I can't stress that enough. You don't want to be in a dirty work environment. It just causes problems. And proper training. Okay, it's important that you know what you're doing for that specific job. You work the right amount of hours. You're taking the necessary breaks. These are all so you can be safe at work. School safety, another place. I know we are at our homes, but if you're in a brick and mortar, you know, they do fire drills, they do tornado drills, they have bully assemblies, you know, they're taking the proper precautions so you can be safe in that environment. And then safety at home, this kind of applies to us more, but you know, maybe having security, checking to see who's at the door before we answer it, making sure our smoke detectors work, being cautious when we cook, our plugs, our electricity, making sure there's no problems with that. Always having an accessible phone line just in case something happens, you can call somebody. Carbon monoxide detectors. So these are all things that could keep us safe in our homes. And actually having a plan. If a fire happened, what's our plan for our family? If a tornado comes, what's the plan for our family? So being prepared, being proactive. All right, and then this, the 3.04 quiz is extra credit, but I know some of us have had troubles with this. So it says, Simon has just finished showering at the gym. He spilled some shampoo on the floor of the shower, which has made the floor slippery and dangerous. He does not clean it up. When Tim enters the shower later that afternoon, he slips and falls in the shower. Who's responsible for Tim's safety? They're saying the answer is Tim and Simon, and I agree with that to some point, but I think it's the gym too. I think that would be a better answer, but for this quiz particular, it's C, because Simon should clean it up. Tim should be aware of his surroundings, but so should the gym. It's the gym's job to come in and check those showers because they're supplying service to others. So I don't necessarily agree with this answer, but that is the answer for this particular question. So that's all I have for you today. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Enjoy the nice sunny weather and have a great day, and we'll be talking soon. Bye-bye, everyone.